Toad the brake van was feeling sad. Everywhere he looked, he could see engines and coaches moving steadily forwards. They all looked confident and cheerful.
Sounds like somebody's longing for a change in lifestyle. But why now of all times? Is Toad just starting to realize what his use is for now? Seems a bit delayed if you ask me. But Toad was determined to get some advice, so he turned to his closest ally.
I could be a leader if you know what I mean. You can't be a leader without a train to follow. You don't have a train, Gordon said.
Toad felt sadder still. Oliver wanted to help. You're a very useful brake van, Toad. You help me brake, and you keep my freight cars in order when we go down hills.
And that's the whole idea, Toad. I'm sorry, but as much as I don't like the way Baldwin voices Gordon, he is right. What more could you want when it comes to your purpose as a brake van? Don't get me wrong, a character should be given a chance to try something new, but sometimes things are better left alone. Because with what Toad said, set off the trucks in a bad mood.
Who's he to start complaining? He's lucky to be able to look after us. Let's teach him a lesson.
Oh boy, what did I mention before in a surprise for Percy? You don't have a story involving troublesome trucks and not have a runaway. So as Oliver made his way around, the trucks set their plan into motion. And that pun is totally intended.
We're making your wish come true, Toad! Follow the leader, yelled the freight cars. Toad was still in a state of shock, so he didn't know what to think, and he couldn't ask the conductor. He had jumped clear.
Ah, gosh, this is no bueno, and I have to say O'Donnell and Campbell using the William Tell overture as the cue for Toad's runaway is hilarious. And it's funny because typically the trucks are in the wrong. Yet I'm happy they are giving Toad his chance to experience being at the front. Of course, being that he had no guard, this led to bigger problems.
Suddenly, Toad found it fun, but the fun was soon over. A crossing lay ahead and the gates were closed. Toad couldn't stop. Worse still, Toad now realized he was on the wrong track. There ahead was Gordon. The signalman changed the points just in time.
So for once, the signalmen are actually alert and not sleeping. Thank gosh Top Hat didn't employ a whole fleet of people sleeping on the job. Otherwise, Gordon would have gotten a face full of Toad. But this wasn't the only time Toad was going to have a close call with an engine. I swear, Gordon's Hill must be super steep if they have not lost any momentum since they left Oliver. Meanwhile, Oliver was millions of miles away.
Help! Help!
Called Toad again. Toad saw some buffers.
Those'll stop me!
But the points to the buffers weren't set.
No! I'm back on the main line!
Meanwhile, Oliver was racing to the rescue.
My goodness, Toad, you really gotten yourself into a pickle. And did anyone notice the runaway theme was nicely mixed with the William Tell overture? I swear, O'Donnell and Campbell are just brilliant. I like Toad's reaction to not stopping at the buffers. No! However, he did stop at the least likeliest of places, right near the old stone bridge in a muddy pool.
Oliver arrived, and when he saw Toad, he could only smile. A pond is the only place for a toad, I suppose? That night, Toad spoke to Oliver.
I'm sorry, Mr. Oliver, if I caused you any embarrassment.
That's all right, Toad. So what do you think of going forwards?
It was fun, decided Toad, but from now on I'll be happy to look forward to the future, busy going backwards, so to speak.
Great play on words. This was a fun episode. Lots of energy, lots of funny moments, and a great lesson learned. Oliver and Toad have been together since Season 3, much of which Oliver had the spotlight. Toad was there, but didn't have a whole lot to do for himself. It wasn't until Toad Stands By in Season 4 did he actually affect the playout of a story. Here, though, we get a complete character arc dedicated to him, and he learns that sometimes it's best to stick with what you're good at. There's nothing wrong with wanting to try something new, but it is important to understand the risks involved. And I think it's safe to say Toad realized that. I just don't understand why Toad didn't talk to another Rolling Stock character, like Clarabelle. She was right there! It actually would have been cool to see that discussion. Either way, I just couldn't believe just how fun this particular runaway sequence was. Toad flying through 2 stations was crazy fun, and the speed at which they went by was quick. Music didn't have a whole lot of themes, but it was quite a change in pace. Oliver's motif is the only one heard this time, but the William Tell overture mixed with the Runaway theme was amazing, and will engage the viewer as they watch Toad's shock turn into concern. As for set pieces, we got a bunch of places like Oliver's Shed, Wellsworth Station, and Crosby Station, which hasn't been seen since Edward's exploit of Season 2. 2 other places to point out, though, that are noteworthy was the Old Stone Bridge, which has only been seen in this season, at nighttime when that dreaded fog comes down, and the other being Gordon's Hill where the chaos begins. It was a lot of fun. Next episode is Duncan Gets Spooked. Thanks for watching.